Today's fighter spotlight and fight preview is with Jordan, the gamer Espinosa. Jordan is a 15-8 pro MMA fighter. He is going to be fighting Tim Elliott in an upcoming fight at UFC 259. That's Blachowicz versus Adesanya. Jordan, thanks for joining us today. How are you feeling ahead of this fight coming up in a couple of weeks now?
Hey man, thanks for having me. I feel good. At the tail end of my training, so this is probably the last hard week, and then the week after that, it's mostly cutting weight.
And I always like to ask, anybody who is cutting weight. I know it's a miserable thing for a lot of people to do. How's your weight? How's your weight feeling right now? And are you not looking forward to the cut, but will it be an average cut? Will it suck? What's it going to be like?
Right now, it's looking like it'll probably be about an average cut. For my last fight, it was actually a pretty easy cut down to 25s. Um, but I mean, a lot of stuff happened before this fight in terms of me getting COVID, blah blah blah, time off of training. But I think it'll be about an average cut. My weight's looking decent right now. It's not great, but it's also not terrible. So
That's good.
nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, you're not going to come in 12 and a half pounds overweight like we saw last weekend.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous.
It was exactly. Yeah, I felt bad for Pat. He got that short notice call, and then all of a sudden the fight's canceled.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And moving back to just your upcoming fight. We were talking a little bit beforehand. I had a chance to see you fight 6 years ago now, when you fought
It's crazy.
for PA Cage Fight, and got a chance to follow your career for a while. And Tim Elliott, someone also that I've been following for a long time. I want to talk to you about kind of the trials and tribulations of going from someone fighting for a PA Cage Fight, right, where you're fighting maybe in front of 500, 600 people, 1,000 people maybe, to then, making the climb to, the UFC. You're fighting on a real big UFC card. Obviously, no fans in attendance now, but,
Mhm.
what's that experience like? And was it something where you had to step back and say, wow, like this is really happening? Or did it all kind of just happen so fast that you didn't get a chance to do that?
Yeah, no, I think I had a relatively kind of slow drip. Like there's some guys these days that they're on the contender series at 4-0, 5-0, and then they're immediately in the UFC their next fight. I had a few main events. I had a couple title fights. And even getting onto the contender series, I was 10-5 when I got on the contender series. But I do think just being on the contender series both times, I was more nervous and kind of stressed out before those fights than my UFC debut. Um, I don't know if it's just because of like the intimate setting of it all, but I was more nervous for that. So by the time I started fighting in the arenas, um, I felt comfortable. I felt really comfortable in my UFC debut. I fought like I felt comfortable, and yeah, these days we're back at the apex, so it's it's a little bit more of a intimate setting again with no fans and just a few people around. But honestly, I kind of like it better.
That was going to be my next question. And since you say you do like it better, is there any specific reason? Is there anything that, plays into that being, do you feel more comfortable? Do you feel looser? What's playing into that?
uh, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's more of like a gym setting, right? I can hear my coaches. Like we have fight simulations at my gym. I could hear my coaches. I could hear the other cornermen's coaches. Um, and I don't know. Some people get a little overly hyped by the crowd. Some people probably adrenaline dump because, well, for my UFC debut, there was about a 10-second moment where I was walking out into the arena and then Bruce Buffer was calling my name and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And I like needed to tone it down and like hone myself in and control my breathing. But I don't really have any of that for my last two fights that I've had during the pandemic. And whether it's because I'm just more acclimated to fighting in the UFC in general, or it's because of the setting, I'm not sure. But I definitely don't mind it.
And with there being, not, I want to say not that many people there, and did it change anything in terms of your preparation once you're actually at the venue? In terms of warming up or in terms of being in the locker room, are the locker rooms still large, locker rooms with a couple teams in them all together? Do they have you all now separated and all over the place?
So for my last two fights, they've had us all separated, which is pretty nice
Hmm.
because usually you got to share. you got to share a locker room with 6 other fighters, and so there's limited mat space, limited bathroom space. But since it's been at the Apex, we every single fighter. So I think this is how they do it. I think they have 3 people. Um, they have 3 fighters, and then they all get taken to the Apex, and then after each fight, they bring them back and bring 3 more or something like that. But it's pretty nice because I get a whole locker room to myself. Don't got to worry about. It's not very hectic. It's very smooth, and I wish it was like it all the time, honestly.
And you seem like someone who is pretty calm, relaxed. Backstage, are you? You're warming up, you're getting ready, but are you just kind of that same person throughout the day, or are you someone who you want to be, headphones on and don't bother me, we'll just do my warm up, but then I want to listen to music?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been both of those guys. I think I think the more I've gotten comfortable and the longer I've been fighting, and even before I was in the UFC, but now that I'm kind of like a veteran, um, I just try to have fun, and so I try to take that mentality with when I'm in the back too. Try not to put the weight of the world on my shoulders, kind of thing. It's just another fight. I do this every day, and I got into it because it was fun. I'm just doing it at a higher level, and I want to always kind of have that fun mentality and attitude. So when I'm in the back, I do have my headphones on and stuff, but it's not like I'm just isolated, not talking to my coaches, not talking to any fighters. Um, I'll still chat, no problem. I'll still be texting people. I'll still be looking on social media. But yeah, it wasn't always like that though, because I think I did used to be too much in my head, thinking what's going to happen in the fight. Now I'm confident in the work I put in. The preparation's already all done, and so go out there and have fun.
And speaking of going out there and having fun, um, always when I was going and preparing for fights, like that was the number one thing I wanted to keep in mind is, you know, like you said, got into it because it was fun. Wanted to fight because fighting's fun. Um, is there a time for you in camp, in training, anything like that, where it's just not fun?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, I've been doing this almost 12 years now. And so there's definitely been times in my career where I was like, man, why am I even doing this? I don't
Mhm.
even know if I want to do this anymore. I feel like it's a job, obligated. But um, probably like 5, 6 years ago, probably 5 years ago, I had lost the fight, and I was just like, I was just bummed. And I was like, man, this shit sucks. And the reason I think and the mentality I needed to change was I was throwing all my eggs into one basket mentally, emotionally, physically, and I was didn't really have anything else going on, and didn't want anything else going on. And so after that, I kind of just there's a conscious mental switch of like, all right, reflect. Why the hell am I even doing this? What do I want to keep doing it? And if I do, um, I need to make the necessary steps mentally to go in there and to be successful. And honestly, when I got into this, even as a pro, several fights into my career as a pro, I wasn't necessarily like, oh, I want to be world champ. I want to make it to the UFC. I got into it because it was fun. Let's see how far I can take it, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, along this long hard road, there's definitely been times where I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore, or just like, why am I doing this anymore? But ever since I kind of mentally made that switch, um, it's not like those thoughts don't still cross my mind, or like struggles aren't there, but the way I handle those thoughts and the way I handle those struggles are a little bit better and easier.
And the mental side of the fight game is a huge portion of it, right? You can have all the physical attributes in the world, but if you can't put it together on fight night mentally,
Mhm.
you see a lot of those guys that just don't perform. People might call them gym fighters or whatever they
Mhm.
want to say. Um, Being that you've kind of gone through those mental trial and tribulations, and you have been in this fight game for a long time, are there younger fighters now who are coming to you for advice, not just in should I throw this combo or this combo, but the mental side of things and talking through the mentality of fighting?
Yeah, of course. We just had some guys compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament this last weekend, and I have a couple of my teammates that are competing in smokers, which are just uh, exhibition like kickboxing fights coming up. But it's interesting to see them kind of once they once they got told that they were fighting, like they can't stop talking about it. Their face lights up. They're kind of freaking out a little bit. But it's interesting to see that. But yeah, they asked me tips on cutting weight, on tips of like should I be even thinking about, should I watch video on this guy? Like, it's cool to see. It makes me feel old, but it's still pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 30. I don't feel that old, but the other day in the jujitsu
I'm older
gym,
than you.
yeah, and the other day in the jujitsu gym, one of the kids right out of college, he said to me, "Yeah, you old guys, you just there's something different about you." And I was like, "Come on, dude, I'm only 30. Like, I don't know what you're talking about." But I was also that kid at one time, right, where who, 32 was old to me, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm the old guy to these kids. But it also is nice to help, right, with coaching and all these different things. You gain all of these life lessons and experiences through competing, fighting, all these things. It's also nice to give back and kind of see the guys below us doing well in tournaments, smokers, fights, whatever that may be. Um, Now, I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about just gaming in general, right?
Okay.
Gaming is something that is taking over the world the last 5-10 years. Anything from like a League of Legends and StarCraft to people play World of Warcraft still to this day. People are still playing Diablo, Call of
It's
Duty,
insane.
whatever's out there, people are playing it. So where did your love for video games originally come from?
Originally, when I was
Yeah, what were you first
probably,
playing when you were young?
yeah, so I have an older brother who's 6 years older than me. His name's Jose Espinosa. He's actually coming out to Vegas for my fight. But I'm old enough to remember him picking me up, or not picking me up, but we would take the bus to go to the mall, and we'd go to the arcades and we'd be playing Killer Instinct, we'd be playing Street Fighter, we'd be playing Mortal Kombat. And so those were the good old days. I lived in Northwest Indiana at the time. And yeah, we used to go to the movies, and then after the movies we'd spend hours at the arcades. So that's where my roots started. Now, I probably didn't get my first console until well, I had a Sega CD, and I think I was like 9 years old. And I really got into all the Sonic games, and Sonic and Sega was my favorite genre, and he was my favorite character after a while. And then after that, N64, 007, Zelda, and then it just took off after that.
And what are you playing now? I know you are you're streaming on Twitch. So what are you playing? What can people watch you play on Twitch, and how can they get to watch you play?
Uh, Currently, I'm playing a game called Hades. It's made by an indie company called Supergiant, and it's a roguelike dungeon crawler.
Mhm.
Anyway, it's pretty nerdy, but it's super cool. I've probably put like 40 hours into it. I was actually just playing it right before you called me. So yeah, I play several things at the same time. Like I play this MMORPG called Tibia, and it's gonna sound crazy, but I've been playing that game since I was 11, on and off.
Oh,
Still
no
have the
way.
same, still have the same character, still have the same login. I remember all my information, but I've been playing a lot of that recently. I just recently, and I was streaming this yesterday. I just recently started playing a game called Valheim,
Mhm.
and it's a survival. They drop you in this huge world, procedurally generated world, and you're just this you're just a Viking basically, but you have nothing. You got to build your own house. You got to learn how to survive. You got to cook your own food. You got to make your own weapons and all that kind of thing. But it's pretty cool. But those are the type of games I probably prefer the most. Kind of RPGs, um, open world type games. But when I do play competitive shooters and stuff, um, I just got a PC like 2 years ago, so I've
Okay.
been heavy into PC gaming since I got it. I played a lot of Valorant for a while, and that's big on the competitive scene right now. I was a big fan of Apex. I played a lot of that on PS4. I played a little bit of Modern Warfare. I'm not a big fan of battle royales, but Apex is probably my favorite one. But I didn't play a lot of Warzone, but I played a lot of the like team deathmatch, 6v6 kind of stuff. But yeah, video games, I could talk about them all day.
So since the battle royales, right? They're big, real big right now. Everybody's playing battle
Mm.
royales. What? So I'm not a huge fan of them either, right? I don't like the concept of just die once and then the game's over.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where your mentality is too with that, or why are you not a huge battle royale fan?
I think it's just more of, and I'm sure I'm gonna have people hating, but I think it's just more of like I feel like it doesn't take as much skill because you can get dropped somewhere and then like it's just chaos around. So you do got to have strategy and stuff. But like I prefer to Apex, where it's teams of three and it's not overly crowded. I think there's 50 people total or something, not instead of like 100. Um, so I played Apex and I enjoyed that a lot. I just kind of moved on to other things. But Fortnite, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Fortnite.
I couldn't build to
Um,
save my life.
yeah, okay. That's probably why I didn't put enough time in it to become good. But I played
Mhm.
Fortnite for like a month, and I was like, okay, I'm not really a big fan of this. Um, it's not like I'm completely against them. I just think I have more fun playing other games.
And last question about gaming before we move on to this fight with Tim. If there is one game from your early console days that you would want to be remade into, something you could play on your gaming PC now, what would you want to see remade?
Man, that's so tough. That's such a hard question. Uh, well, so they just remade Final Fantasy VII.
Mhm.
That was one of my favorite games as a kid. Probably from the same era, would probably be the Metal Gear Solid remake, which I hear they're thinking about making. And Metal Gear Solid is probably my favorite saga in video game history. So Metal Gear Solid.
All right, then we'll look forward to that. Cool. So switching back to fighting, wanted to just talk to you about this fight with Tim.
Okay.
Tough opponent, big fight card. What are you doing, if anything, differently to prepare for him? Is kind of a little bit awkward style. He's pretty durable. Just talk to me a little bit about your preparation for this fight.
Yeah, I feel like when you go into a fight and you schedule the fight Tim Elliott, you kind of know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
You know he's gonna have awkward stand up. You know he's gonna be probably relentless on the takedown. He's gonna have scrambly, high level grappling. So honestly, I'm expecting the same guy. I mean, he's a little bit older than I am, but I don't think he's gonna all of a sudden change his style. But if he does, hell, I don't. I think it'd be nice not to deal with all that awkward shit anyway. So, no, but I'm expecting the same Tim Elliott. He trains out at Glory MMA for this camp, which I actually went out there last year to train with them. Tim wasn't there at the time; he was in Vegas, but I have a bunch of friends over there. I love James Krause. I have a bunch of respect for the coaches and their team. Um, but I'm expecting to put forward a good game plan, and I don't see Tim Elliott switching anything up that he normally does. I'm sure he's going to be hunting the takedown. I'm sure he's going to be looking for submissions. Um, I'm sure his stand up is going to be ugly, but one thing about Tim Elliott is that he's always in your face no matter what, and he's never out. He's very durable. I don't think he's ever been TKO'd. Be cool to get that. Uh, so yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting. I think I have the speed advantage. I think I'm more technical on the feet than he is. I'm more athletic than he is. And so as long as I stuff his takedown or at least make him work for them or beat him up while he's trying to get them, I think I could tire him out and hopefully get a finish.
Awesome. And talking about his style, right? Like you said, he's always in your face. He's always coming forward, hunting those takedowns. People who watch MMA, I don't think they really appreciate how just physically taxing it is to uh, not only defend takedowns right on your side, but on then Tim's side also, right? That's just a grueling process of always hunting those takedowns. So, can you talk about how you prepare for something like that when you know somebody's going to come in, they're going to be trying to put you on the cage or trying to push you backwards and make you fight backwards and make you fight off those takedowns?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, man. That's why you don't see guys like Justin Gaethje going out there shooting
Hmm.
100 takedowns. I think the biggest thing is if you can make that person work, if you can beat him up a little bit, don't let him get the takedown so easily. It's gonna zap their energy pretty damn quick. And that's what I expect from Tim. I've been working a lot of takedown defense. A lot of he's a head on the outside single type of guy. Um, and so I've been doing a lot of that. I have a wrestling background. Wrestling is why I got into MMA in the first place. So I'm looking to make that hard on him.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it too. Just about a couple of weeks out now from you fighting Tim.
Mhm.
Before I let you go, just wanted to flip it back to you. Let you get any shout outs, any kind of mentions, anything you want to get in there.
Sure. Shout out to Northern Chill. They're my water sponsor. Shout out to MMA Tico for the gamer shirt.
Yes, sir.
Um, Damage Control mouth guards. They're great.
Mhm.
Caveman Coffee. They're awesome. Um, if you could, if you want to look me up, you can find me on IG. I don't really use Twitter that much, but you can also find me on Twitch at statechamp underscore 103.
Awesome, Jordan. Pleasure speaking with you today. Looking forward to this fight coming up with Tim. That's going to be at UFC 259. That'll be on March 6th. Enjoy the weight cut, and look forward to speaking with you at the end.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Later.